Hi. Hello. Hey. Oh, I've got a runny nose. Allergies are crazy. Man, I am trying to keep up, you guys. I swear it has been so much harder. Like, this is nuts. You're right. This is nuts. Like, I worked out, and usually after I work out, I'll wash my hair and then I'll blow dry it and then I'll come on here. But I was like, not today. Just messy bun, throw it up. No one's going to care. They're not here for me. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me pull up everything. You're welcome. Does this mean all of it is coming to an end? Quite the opposite. Faith, you just joined. Same. We're talking Britney Spears. I feel like every time I come on, I'm like, I'm so sorry I look like this. That's the Patreon. I need to stop doing that. So what's the latest? Like, in fact, I should probably, because I stepped away from my computer, God only knows. Maybe God himself filed a motion while I was away. I should check. It's really weird. TikTok was down yesterday, so I did try to, her mom has been an interested party, but yes, she has now filed a formal petition. It's document images. So I tried to come on TikTok yesterday, but TikTok was down. I had like 9 people, and my moderators couldn't even see the live in their feed. So I moved it to YouTube. If you saw the videos on my page this morning or yesterday or something, I can't remember. Let's see. I don't know what I've gotten yet. No, I already got that one. Private legal counsel, photograph, proof of service, court appointment, application for court of approval. That's old. Okay. Making sure that there are some additional orders. So we'll go through whatever we can get through. Okay, so what is it that you want to know? Why has her mom not stepped in a lot sooner to help her? I don't know, and I don't know what I don't know. I'm going to turn this. I have a light on, but I don't think it's helping really right now. We don't know what we don't know. So maybe her mom attempted to at some point, but it's just now that that she's filing documents. I don't know. The New Yorker article made it seem like she was pretty scared. My dogs are going to bark for a second because I just got a notification that the food's going to be dropped off. Yeah, we don't know what their relationship is. We don't know what Lynn's relationship is with Jamie. We don't know Britney's dad. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. I'm a mom, and this wouldn't have happened for so long. Yeah, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes that seem to have this seem to be portraying this idea that, like, oh, we thought Britney was good with this. Like, she was fine. She's always been fine. What happened? What's the difference? Oh my God, this June 23rd court hearing. Oh my God, she's not happy? There's just like feigned shock. Like, all of a sudden? And everybody else is like, really? Because, like, I feel like the general public has thought that she wasn't good for a while. What do you think about Jody asking for $25,000 every 2 weeks for security? So there's a lot of people in the comments who are very upset about that motion. And I probably won't touch on that much here because that's actually quite small in the grand scheme of things. While that's a lot of money, it makes sense to me legally that the conservatorship would be on the hook for expenses Jodi incurs as a result of the hearing that happened on the 23rd. So Jodi, remember, I told you they were going to go crazy. What makes sense? It makes sense that Jodi would ask for payment. It doesn't make sense if Jodi is in a court-appointed position representing Britney or assisting Britney, representing her person, essentially. Jodi at one point asked for the records, the hearing and records related to it be sealed during the, I don't remember if it was before or after Britney spoke. Sam Ingham at one point asked for everything to be sealed, and then Britney, and then Jodi also did. So on if you're looking at this from Jodi's point of view, and I know that this is tough, but that's part of what I'm here for, is like to make sure that you guys see, like, we have to look at this through a legal point of view. I call it the but-for, well, I call it, like I fucking invented the law. There's something called the but-for test, and we use it in personal injury. We use it in negligence cases. But for your actions, would I have needed to do this? But for you driving into my car, would I have needed surgery, right? But for. So, but for the hearings, would Jodi Montgomery have needed security at her home? Now, I can anticipate some of you would argue that, well, Jodi's actions additionally helped her incur the liability of the security, right? Jodi's actions are also a direct result. Yes, but Jodi is a court-appointed conservator of the person. So, but for her involvement in all of this, she wouldn't have needed security. So if she wasn't the conservator of the person in this instance, she wouldn't need security. So then it makes sense, especially to the extent that it's affordable by the estate, though $25,000 every two, if then, yeah. If this, then that. If she's conservator of the person and that now requires security, then the estate should pay it. I think you would be the only lawyer. Well, no, I just muted somebody. Darn it. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. I was trying to scroll down. I think you would be the only lawyer able to come up to speed in 7 days at this point. No, there's a couple of us that are following it. Is there a limit that the conservatorship can spend? I don't think so. How is it possible the lawyer said she had dementia? What the New Yorker article said is at some point somebody checked a box for dementia. But it doesn't say what the basis was of that. The Congress letter, I'm not going to go into that today. We talked about it a little bit before. It's the focus of what I want to talk about today is these petitions and these requests. I do want to touch real quick on the request by Britney's attorney to withdraw. And I even DM'd another attorney and was like, I have never seen, her dad checked the box, yeah, for dementia. I've never seen an attorney withdraw in this situation. And I was like, man, and if you're an attorney and you're in this chat, do you mind telling me, like, yes, I've seen this before? Because I've never seen an attorney withdraw in this manner. Essentially what he did was like, hey, peace out, I'm done. I'll write a petition or an application for a court-appointed attorney for Britney. So that was the motion. Versus what I've always seen be done is you have to ask the court to be you totally count as a lawyer, Sandy. And you've been on all of these. Yeah, that's the attorney I DM'd, was actually Emily. So I've never seen an attorney tell the court. Like, once you're in a case as counsel of record, attorney, never seen it before. Thank you. Like, once you're counsel of record in a litigation case, like, you're on record. Like, if you can't simply withdraw. Yeah. If you can't get the consent of your client, in this instance, multiple people have argued that Britney doesn't have consent. If you can't get consent from your client to withdraw and replace, either they have another attorney that they'll put in this position, in the position of attorney, or they'll be pro per. In this case, no one's going to believe that, Britney Spears needs a conservatorship of everything in her life, but she's able to represent herself in court. So in that situation, and we just saw it in the Erica Girardi case, where her attorney, in fact, I think that she just got a new attorney too, but her attorney moved to withdraw and asked the court for permission. You don't get to tell the court what you're going to do. There's a process for all of this. So weird to randomly withdraw after 13 years. I mean, yeah, I can understand if you truly have a breakdown of communication. Like, she's saying, I never told her this. I told her this. I can't breach attorney-client confidentiality. But that's what motions to withdraw do, is it's basically boilerplate language where it's like, there's been a, breakdown of communication without breaching attorney-client privilege. We can't, I can no longer represent her moving forward. But what he did was file an application to appoint a court-appointed lawyer for Britney. So not like, hey, I feel like there's a breakdown in communication. Britney would like to hire her own attorney. We'd like some time to get that attorney on board. Nope. Just like, hey, deuces, here's my resignation letter. Here's my firm's resignation letter. We out. Good luck. Meanwhile, there's 10 hearings on calendar, 10 different matters on calendar for the 14th. Well, that's not true. There were 10 yesterday. Let me see what the total number is now. I mean, what are you going to do? If I was the court, and maybe that's why he did it the way he did it, because he knew the court wouldn't accept it. But if I was the court, I'd be looking at this and going, one, we have extremely egregious claims being made by the conservatee. And all of these motions coming at us, the co-conservator of the estate's asking to be withdrawn. She's got people in her management life that are removing themselves. We've got, the last court hearing. This is crazy. The last court hearing was the 23rd. Bye, staff. No, have fun with your niece. I'm glad that you're hanging out with her. Jamie Spears never paid for that woman's security. Britney has been paying. Any validity is now totally stripped, and all 13 years of representation now look so suspicious. Interesting. He seems like he's running scared. So it just feels like while movement is good, thank you. I appreciate you guys appreciating me. So I'm hopeful that you guys are enjoying this, because that's why I'm doing it.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
Can I eat food?
Absolutely.
Which one is for me, the french fries and chicken strips?
Whatever you want in there.
Okay, because there's chicken that powdered. I'm gonna leave that for you.
Okay.
Because there's also a bucket of french fries in there and chicken for you.
Okay. Whatever you want. Well, thank you guys. Okay, so there is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different matters set for hearing in this matter at 1:30 on the 14th. Can I eat? Poor girl's like, you're going live? I'll try to keep the dogs quiet. She is polite. So it's not allowed. I know. Well, we haven't ever had Buffalo Wild Wings, and she was like, I want meat. And I was like, wings it is. Daddy's working late and I'm not cooking. Okay, so let's get into what was filed today. I will scroll back. Man, what a day. Okay, so my first download was the ex parte petition for order authorizing and instructing. Oh, that was the security. So we discussed that. Petition. Okay, so the next document link is now not valid. Uno momento, por favor. I know I downloaded it. It's just like, which did I download? Where? Okay, petition to hire private legal counsel. So this was the second motion that was filed today. Holy viewers. I know. That's why I knew TikTok was down yesterday, because I started talking about Britney Spears and I was like, 9 people? I don't think so. No, I don't Freedom of Information Act all of this. I just pay for it. I'm here for you guys. Trust me, I'm literally invested. Literally invested. And don't send me stuff through here. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just telling you, like, I'm here. I'm here. So this is wine. Yeah, TikTok was down. So the second motion filed today was a petition for permission to hire private legal counsel filed by Lynn Spears through her attorneys. She has 2 separate attorneys. And bear in mind, it's my understanding still that Britney's paying for all of these people. So because there's so many documents, I'm going to do my best to kind of like breeze through them. I'm not going to read everything. And the most important attachments, I think, are at the end, the most recent motion that was filed. And by most recent, I mean the like 5th one filed today. So I'm going to kind of breeze through these. But essentially what this one is a request made by Britney's mom to allow Britney to have a say in her legal counsel moving forward. Wait, why would Britney pay for Lynn's lawyers if she isn't a part of the conservatorship? She's an interested party. I'm fairly certain, I can confirm, but I'm fairly certain that I saw a request for approval of fees by her attorney. Can you upload this to your YouTube? I will. How's that? You haven't missed much. Can Britney sue Sam Ingham? Anybody can sue anyone for anything at any time. It's just a matter of whether or not that would hold weight, and whether or not that a claim by Britney to Sam Ingham would hold any water would depend entirely on confidential communications between the two. And those are things that we do not know and cannot know right now. What I think is more important is there are multiple people, and I don't condone this because I wouldn't want to have it happen to me. But there are people who have put complaints to the state bar in their like bit.ly link in their description, like click on this link and fill out this, and like his name's already filled out and his bar number and all that's already filled out. Like all you have to do is write in your name and yada 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 and send it to the state bar. And I'm like, oh man, the state bar is really gonna have fun with that. What are the odds of all 12 petitions will be heard next week? That's a great question. I'm very torn on what order the court hears this in. So let's get through these and then we'll talk about the order. So Lynn's request talks about the June 23rd hearing, and she says that Britney, through her court-appointed counsel of record, requested to be heard on June 23rd. In a very courageous showing, Britney appeared by phone and spoke for almost 25 minutes, bearing her heart to the court in an impassioned plea to be heard on several requests. I will say that transcript is attached to the last motion that I saw was filed today. And that motion was filed by Jody Montgomery, and I think that was the guardian ad litem request. Not going to hear petitions. Britney has no attorney. I don't know. This is where I get back to, like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, does Britney have an attorney? Because I've never seen, again, I've been practicing for over a decade. I worked in law offices before that. I've had attorneys now in the chat. I've heard Emily D. Baker has the same opinion that I do. I've never seen an attorney tell the court they're out, which was interesting, right? Like, we aren't slaves either. We can't be forced to do something that we don't want to do, but we can be scolded by the court and say, no, you're going to put your client's rights and not obligate, but they have the attorney. We as attorneys have obligations to our clients. Our clients have rights to have counsel, especially in a court-appointed instance. Like, hey, you're here, you're getting paid, you've been paid, you don't just get to leave. You're gonna put her and her rights in jeopardy if you just peace out. Especially now, look at what we've got before us. Like, that's why you move. I could probably tell you. California court forms. I was gonna look. Withdraw. Notice of withdrawal. Maybe not. I thought it was a California court form. I know it is. A motion to withdraw. Anyway. But it's, you don't, in other words, like, what happens to Britney? Like, because she needs to figure out counsel, and now we've got basically her pointing the finger at everybody around her saying, none of these people are working in my best interest. I think she's closest with Jody, but that doesn't mean that she likes the woman. The court has said she can't even hire an attorney. Please don't. Okay, we're back. Sorry, people calling me while I'm on live? Do they not know my life anymore? Come on. So, the motion goes on. On June 23rd, she appeared making specific requests regarding the ongoing conservatorship of her person and her estate. The transcript of the hearing was requested. It looks like they must have filed this right before the transcript was prepared. Specifically in the June 23rd hearing, Conservatee requested, I'm reading straight from the petition now, Conservatee requested changes going forward, including conservator of her estate be removed, conservatorship be terminated without her having to endure another evaluation, she be allowed to own her own money, that she be allowed to ride in her boyfriend's car, that she be, what's crazy is we've talked about this so much now that, like, these things are second nature. Like, we know she wants her IUD out. We know she wants to ride in her boyfriend's car. We know that she wants the conservatorship removed. But don't let the initial shock of those statements wear off. Don't let yourself, because I have, become so conditioned that, like, oh yeah, these were Britney's requests. I think I see. Oh. Yeah, she has to ask if she wants to ride in his car. That she be allowed to use her voice to take up for herself. That she be allowed to handpick her own lawyer by herself. that she be allowed to meet once a week with her therapist at her home, because she said that she would go to therapy and then they bombard her with paparazzi, which who would know that she's at therapy? That she be allowed to see her friends, that she be allowed to get married and have a baby, that she be allowed to have her IUD removed. The motion goes on, this is of the utmost importance and may very well impact each and every of the other requests submitted by conservatee in her live testimony at the June 23rd hearing. It is self-evident that before the court addresses, for example, the termination of the conservatorship, Britney must be allowed to consult with counsel of her choosing. Because here's what could happen, is at this point, while it's likely that when this was being prepared, Sam Ingham had not yet moved to withdraw. I should rephrase. Sam Ingham had not yet told the court that he's out. So pretending then that this is written as Sam Ingham, with Sam Ingham as her attorney, what happens if they set the hearing, Sam Ingham is her attorney, set the hearing for termination of the conservatorship, Sam Ingham is her attorney, and he doesn't provide her an adequate, to her standards, to Britney's standards, an adequate service with regards to the arguments that she wants to make on termination. So it's very imperative that Britney have competent counsel for some of these hearings. I mean, depending, there's so many ways that this could go. Like, would a competent, well-established probate expert lawyer allow for Bessemer to withdraw as co-conservator of the estate without objection? Or would a respected attorney in that situation file an objection to Bessemer's withdrawal and say, nope, you're in, court ordered it, we'll allow you out when this is done? Did she just post? New Instagram post by Britney 5 minutes ago. Someone said it's cryptic. Aren't they all? Let me see what it says. It's like anime Britney. Our Father who art, and then a picture of art, like a framed photo. In heaven, hallowed be thy name. And then it says, like PSSSS, you better fucking believe it. Well, all right. Interesting. I don't have any reason to believe that Britney now has control of her Instagram. So yeah, and then they were whoever was on there was mass tagging her hairstylist in all of her prior posts. So I wouldn't read too much into the Instagram posts. As she herself testified in her June 23rd hearing, quote, I didn't know I could petition the conservatorship to end it. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I honestly didn't know that. Those people who are suffering from dementia to the extent that they need a conservatorship, I'm not a doctor, but this is my speculation. People who are suffering from dementia to the extent they need a conservatorship, or mental health issues, or are so incompetent that they need a conservatorship, do not form and choose sentences like, I didn't know I could petition the conservatorship to end it. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I honestly didn't know. Like, I don't think anyone's going anywhere until Judge Penny rules on it. That's the way it should be. I'm confused on why this would be different. The idea of court and due process and all of that is, it doesn't matter if you're literally the president of the United States, you still have due process. It's beyond dispute that this is a unique conservatorship. In the original petition for appointment, Conservative's given address was UCLA Medical Center. That was over 13 years ago. Now and for the past many years, she's able to care for her person and has, in fact, inside of the parameters of this conservatorship, earned literally hundreds of millions of dollars as an international celebrity. To earn this money, she had to perform in front of millions of people, has had to manage hundreds of performances, has had to use her artistic and creative talents to prepare for shows by choreographing each and every move for and interacting with many co-performers, and has had to rehearse and perform for many thousands of hours over the years. This is Lynn's motion. As she testified on June 23rd about preparing for her Las Vegas residency, quote, I rehearsed 4 days a week. I rehearsed 4 days a week. I was basically directing most of the show. I actually did most of the choreography, meaning I taught my dancers my new choreography myself. I wasn't good. I was great. I remember that. I led a room of 16 new dancers in rehearsals. Her capacity is certainly different today than it was in 2008, and Conservative should no longer be held to the 2008 standard, whereby she was found to not have the capacity to retain counsel. With everyone resigning and walking, this might make the judge think they're all sketchy. My heart breaks for her. She can make informed decisions. Yeah. It goes on to discuss California law and the ability of the appointment of private counsel for a conservatee. And it says the probate code section is 1471A. If a conservatee is unable to retain legal counsel and requests the appointment of counsel to assist, whether or not that person lacks or appears to lack capacity, the court shall, at or before the time of hearing, appoint the public defender or private counsel to represent the interest of that person in the following proceedings, basically giving legal grounds. While Conservative is represented in the conservatorship by Sam Ingham, she did not participate in the decision to appoint him. If nothing else, that militates for Conservative to be able to make a choice as her legal counsel. Militates? So they want her to have permission to hire her own private legal counsel, or in the alternative, appointing a private attorney of Conservative's choosing and granting any such release as the court may want. Can anyone find out if Britney's estate or anyone involved donated to this? Oh. What would happen if she were able to leave California? This covers multiple states. What is the box checking stuff people are referring to? I'm behind. There was in the New Yorker article, there was, let's see if there's any amendments. No, not amendments, exhibits. There was a reference to, at some point, somebody checked a box for dementia for Britney, and it's alleged to be her dad. Could she request an audit of her finances? She can't do anything right now because no one's given her the go-ahead on capacity. She should move to Florida. I'm fairly certain there was a specific request to have the conservatorship cover Florida that was granted. A bunch of people have asked this question. Do we trust Sam, her boyfriend? I don't know. No, I cannot represent her. Though I appreciate you guys having that much faith in me. So, moving on to the next. Let's see if... Okay, so that was 7:59. No. 10:48. Oh yeah, that's what we did. Okay. Talked about that. Trying to parse through what's my actual client's documents in my email and what's not. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna have to go into LA court. You said it was multiple states. Does that mean there are some she could flee to? The problem with that is with what money? Like, everybody has control over her life. Like, yes, she could theoretically, like, go to Nevada. Well, I think it covers Nevada because of Las Vegas. She could go to Oregon or Texas. But I just don't see that being a viable option right now. Okay. I think that's what I just looked at. I did try to, there it is. I did try to get the Girardi conservatorship documents because I wanted to see if there was a substantial difference between how this matter was being treated and how Tom Girardi's conservatorship is being treated. Kim K can forward the money to her. Yeah, they would try to, yeah. Will she ever be able to prove her capacity? Not if everybody keeps leaving. Not if we keep having to, like, I use this term because I'm a football fan, but we got to, like, move the ball down the field. Changing out attorneys and appointing different people is like 5 yards back and, like, staying the same. Like, we need progression, right? So if all we're doing is filing a bunch of motions to, like, well, Bessemare's out and we got to replace Sam Ingham and, well, let's get a guardian ad litem. Like, maybe the quarterback can't move the ball down the field, but we gotta at least, like, if you're going to pass off to somebody, he's got to run the ball. Like, we can't be hanging out here and just, like, switching. That's not working. I don't think that the Supreme Court has any standing to get involved right now, no. We do this testing at my practice. She can prove competency. Yeah, but she is so gun shy right now on wanting to sit for any mental health evaluations, and understandably so. I don't even, like, I'm not blaming her on that. This stinks. Every time she raises her voice and says, hey, there's an issue here, they discipline her. I just asked for that to be sent to me. Oh, gotta click on the link. I forget. Okay, so let me go back to the list so I can make sure to give you guys this. Not that you guys care, but give it to you in order, because there were multiple motions filed today, obviously. I've said that like 15 times. Okay. What's interesting, though, is, like, stuff gets filed and then they pull it back. Like, the petition for permission to hire private legal counsel shows as being filed yesterday. I'm fairly certain that happened today. Unless I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure. So then there was a request to appoint a guardian ad litem. Yeah, finish the thought about the conservatorship with the Girardi. Yes. Sorry, sometimes I start sentences like I was just about to do right there and not finish them. So I looked up the Tom Girardi. I have to let this dog in. I'm sorry. So I looked up the Tom Girardi case, and I can't access the court documents on the conservatorship for whatever reason. So I wanted to compare them, but I can't see that. I can see, though, that there is, it's for some reason the case documents just aren't accessible online. So there are care plans, though, in the Tom Girardi case that were filed court documents. And it is crazy in here today, Vicki, I know. There are care plans that have been filed for, and that is like it's a care plan. Like, how are you going to care for the conservatee? And there have never been those filed in this case that I can see. You're fine. I am going to upload this one later to YouTube. Okay, so the conservatorship request petition for appointment of guardian ad litem. Bluetooth. Had to turn off my Bluetooth because if my family gets nearby, you'll start listening to whatever they're saying, and God only knows what that is. Steps back. So the request is a petition for appointment of guardian ad litem probate ex parte. So the ex parte part is just like, we're going to shorten the time frame. We get to file this one-sided. We're going to shorten the time frame because remember, in civil procedure provides that you have to have 16 court days before the hearing date at which time you can serve. So you need at least 16 court days prior to the hearing date to serve the parties in the matter on your with the documents that you're filing. Everybody now is like, fuck it, July 14th it is. Like, you got a motion, you got a motion, like everybody file their motions. We're just gonna do it all that day. What is that? We're gonna do it live. We're gonna do it live, like live on the 14th. We're all sitting down. We're gonna get this figured out. But again, all of this has to do with Britney, obviously. And now her attorney said like, hey, you should add to that list, like getting her an attorney. Cause like, I don't know, she hasn't got one now. Like I left. Yeah, you get a motion. You like Oprah, you get a car, you get a motion, you get a motion. So the request is supported by the attachment to this reads, in 2008, this petition for appointment of guardian ad litem arises from the fact that conservatee Ms. Spears wants to select her own attorney, does not want one appointed solely by this court, and does not want to undergo any additional evaluations to determine her capacity. In 2008, more than 13 years ago, we know the history on that. In other words, they addressed the resignation, so I'll read this through. After a medical evaluation 13 years ago, this court found that Ms. Spears did not have capacity to retain her own attorney. Instead, the court appointed Samuel Ingham as Ms. Spears' court-appointed counsel, and many years thereafter, Loeb and Loeb as associated court-appointed counsel. Mr. Ingham and Loeb have just tendered their joint resignations of counsel on July 6, 2021. In their joint application, they requested that the resignations be accepted upon appointment of new court-appointed counsel. In other words, they want the court to appoint counsel for Ms. Spears yet again. Now, Sam Ingham's request on that end may be a request for judicial expedience, just because if he asks the court to accept his, I know we're talking a lot about his resignation, but it's really important. If he asks the court to accept his resignation upon appointment of another attorney, all the court has to do then is go, hey, CAC, which I've been involved in CAC panels in the past. I was president of a bar association that ran our court-appointed counsel panel in Wayne County. So I have quite a bit of experience on this. Hey, CAC, we need your next up in probate, and send him on down. And then that way, once he gets in the court and the court says, okay, you're now Britney Spears' attorney, Sam's out. Versus a more tedious process of allowing Britney the ability to determine her own counsel, in which case Sam Ingham is on the hook longer. Because that means she needs time. She needs to get that person up to speed. Yes, for President Heather. I would be lying if I didn't tell you I forced my family to call me president for just a couple days, years. Yeah, so the guardian ad litem is, can I say hi, Hozu? It's my birthday. Hello. Can the judge organize the order of petitions? She's going to have to. It's not like, okay, your fire was here first, so you get the first spout of water. No. It's like, okay, this is the organization of the motions itself is going to be probably the most important period. Can we request a wellness check done with video? How do they hear her petition to hire her own lawyer the same day that she needs a lawyer? Exactly. I feel bad for, some people are saying I feel bad for this judge. Other people don't feel bad for the judge. Can someone else hire her lawyer on her behalf? So that's what this guardian ad litem is being requested for, is, hey, Britney needs assistance in finding an attorney to represent her. In addition to, let's see, after Ms. Spears, however, unequivocally disagrees. After 13 years of court-appointed counsel, she wants to select her own counsel. At the hearing on June 23rd, she addressed the court and repeatedly expressed her desire to select her own counsel without an additional medical evaluation. She pointed out that with the conservatorship, quote, with the conservatorship, I couldn't even get my own attorney, that she, quote, wants to feel heard, and that, quote, I have the right to use my voice and speak up for myself without having to be evaluated. At one point, Ms. Spears poignantly said, I haven't really had the opportunity by my own self to actually handpick my own lawyer by myself, and I would like to be able to do that. So Britney is standing up for herself and saying, y'all are fighting about my finances, about who's going to step in to care for me. One, none of you have asked me who I want to represent me here. I don't have a say in that. Like, I'm glad that this is being brought. In addition to her very public comments, she told Miss Montgomery privately that she wants to select her own counsel and has asked Miss Montgomery, as her conservator of the person, to help her in the selection process. While Miss Montgomery is always driven to help Miss Spears in whatever way she can, there is no question that Miss Montgomery's input on Miss Spears' counsel is beyond her powers as conservator of the person and is inappropriate in light of Miss Spears' recent criticisms of her conservatorship. Nonetheless, Miss Montgomery has heard her words and wants to honor her wishes. This ex parte petition for appointment of guardian ad litem now follows. Then they go into exigency, which is, this is urgent. Necessary for a guardian ad litem and specific appointment order requested. Rather than the court once again appointing Ms. Spears' attorney from the court's CAC panel without her input, petitioner instead asserts that a guardian ad litem appointed under Probate Code 372 for limited purposes of assisting her in her selection of private counsel is necessary to give both Ms. Spears a voice as to the selection of her own counsel as well as to protect her best interests. Petitioner submits that the following order for appointment of a guardian ad litem from the court CAC panel, the CAC is court-appointed counsel panel, regarding selection of private counsel for the conservatee would honor Ms. Spears' wishes while still protecting her best interests. So they would appoint this person. Once the conservatee selects the private, number one is appoint the guardian ad litem. This is the order that they're requesting. John Doe is appointed guardian ad litem for the conservatee, Britney Spears, for the limited purpose of assisting her in the selection of private counsel. Once the conservatee selects the private counsel, the guardian ad litem shall report that selection to the court and report whether there is any reason it would not be in the conservatee's best interest. A guardian ad litem, just for your reference, is used in a variety of different instances. Somebody mentioned in my comments, is a guardian ad litem not an attorney in your state? They are not. I use guardian ad litems. Different courts require different standards, but sometimes I'll use a guardian ad litem if I have a minor in a car accident case. Sometimes a parent will step in as a guardian ad litem for the minor in a litigation proceeding. Because a minor doesn't have capacity to handle legal proceedings. Guardian ad litem sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Essentially, it's just somebody stepping in for the person, in this case Britney, to make sure that their best interests are seen through. It does have duties similar to the conservator of the person. I assume that part of the reason Jodi is asking for a separate person is because of the allegations Britney has now alleged against the entire structure of the conservatorship. Let's go just steal Britney. There's 800 of us. I mean, I'd totally be down for hanging out with Britney Spears, but I don't know that that's the best way. Larry Rudolph has not spoken to her in 2.5 years. What's he being paid for? I don't know. So Britney doesn't want out? No, Britney wants out. But Britney first has to, now her attorney is out. And she got to figure out, like, so she'll get on a plane. Yeah, I don't speak on judges. I am an attorney practicing in the state of California. I feel that that's probably not in my best interest. And also, I'm an officer of the court. I forgot what I was saying. Okay. If there is no reason that would not be in her best interest for selection of private counsel to be retained, then the guardian ad litem shall be authorized and instructed to retain that private counsel, and all legal bills paid by the conservatorship estate. The retained counsel have the same rights to medical information as a court-appointed counsel. The court orders that retained counsel shall have access to and authority to review and copy medical records of Britney Spears. In that same vein, petitioner further believes that a large firm, such as an AM Law 100 firm, is the appropriate choice. Damn. See, she wouldn't even take me if I tried. I'm not some big law, fancy-dancy lawyer. She wants, like, top shelf. She's not going for the Patron. She's going for whatever the stuff is on the top. This court has already recognized the necessity for a large firm to represent Miss Spears in this complicated conservatorship. I'm going to start getting really offended as it approved of Mr. Ingham's association with outgoing counsel Loeb and Loeb. More importantly, she has consistently voiced her desire for litigators just like her father has, and even to her now resigned CAC attorney as set forth in his petition from September 2020, where he states, on multiple occasions, as recently as September 2020, Britney has requested that petitioner obtain the appointment of litigation counsel to assist but not replace petitioner in representing her interests in this proceeding. Is Patron top shelf? I don't know. Where's her mother? Her mother filed a motion that we just went over a little bit ago asking for appointment of Britney's own attorney by Britney. So basically, mom and conservator of the person filed the same motion, just in filed different motions with the same intent. Can she win this? That's what's interesting is, like, who's representing her best interest? It's so hard to tell. We don't know what we don't know. And remember that. It's important to remember that. I wish she could speak. She will be at the hearing. I have read, I'm trying to stay up to date on this as much as I can. I think she will be at the hearing. So what's interesting about this, well, I don't know about physically, but she'll be present. So is there any chance of pursuing criminal charges? Let's get through the civil stuff first. If she just gets another lousy lawyer, this was all for nothing. Right, which is why it's so important for her to have the ability with a guardian ad litem. If a sufficient, competent person assists her in finding an attorney, and they're already like, we want somebody from, I don't really keep up with what the big law names are. I know my local guys and around here and personal injury attorneys up and down the state, but I don't keep up with what big law is. Or who's great, because I think they're all kind of full of themselves. Just kidding for the replay. That was a total joke. I love all of you so much. I think big law attorneys are great. They don't have sizable egos or anything. I think that they're all really down to earth. Will they have cameras in court? I highly doubt that this will be an open hearing. It's not 7/2, it's 7/14, and I think it will be closed. Can her mom be named temporary co-conservator? Could, yeah. So she gets her own attorney, then what? Then, big air quotes, then we figure out how to deal with the rest of the crap. Like, okay, now we've got an attorney in place. Do we petition to end the conservatorship? What do we do? What's next? After dating Big Law, guys, that's funny. See, that's the problem. Somebody said, why isn't Morgan and Morgan all over this? Isn't he nationwide? He specializes in everything. You can't specialize in everything. That's like not, you can't. It's like against what you said, the specialization part. I've been on since 5:20, but I'm going to upload this one to YouTube. I've tried to be very calculated and restrained. I don't know Morgan. Should I know Morgan and Morgan? Is that one of the ones that like advertises during the day, during like courtroom stuff? So what's important about this is the first exhibit is the transcript. I bet somebody has uploaded this already, but this is not the transcript from like, I think Variety came out with a transcript of Britney's discussion, her specific statements. This is the court transcript. Different. This is what the court, how the court talked to Britney, what Britney said, what counsel said. So I'm going to scroll down. It just feels so short. Okay. I wanted to see if I could read part of Britney's discussion. But I wanted to see if I could find the part where she talks about when she came to court last time. She talks about the lithium. Okay. It's so heartbreaking. I can't read this again. Maybe I will another time, but not right now. So I want to get to the discussion. She talks for so long. Okay. With Ingham. So the court says, she says, thank you. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you today. Yada, yada. The court says, okay, you're quite welcome. I just want to tell you that I certainly am sensitive to everything that you have said to me and how you're feeling. And I know that it took a lot of courage for you to say everything that you had to say today. And I want to let you know that the court does appreciate your coming on the line and sharing how you're feeling. She says, thank you so much for, giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Court says, you're certainly welcome. So, Mr. Ingham, now talking to her attorney, that there are methods to get a conservatorship terminated. And if that's something that you're looking at doing, you can certainly file a petition for the court to consider it. Hey, it sounds like your client's really unhappy with this whole conservatorship thing. It sounds like you might want to file to terminate it. Is that something you're aware can be done? Your Honor, it's difficult for me to respond to that issue without breaching attorney-client privilege, and so therefore I won't even try to touch on that issue. Now, one of two things could be happening. One is Ingham has told Britney that she can file, the parties could file, this is the transcript. The parties could file to terminate the conservatorship, and Britney doesn't remember, doesn't recall, didn't understand. It was too long ago. Who knows, right? Or in situations like this, it's also very easy. And I'm not even saying, I'm truly not judging or saying which one it is, but he could say, listen, attorney-client privilege, and that just shuts the conversation down. Like, I don't need to tell you I haven't filed to terminate it. Done. The court says, I know. He says, I'm concerned about several of the issues that my client has raised here. I think that the other family members and fiduciaries here will doubtlessly want to weigh in some fashion. If my client directs me to file a petition to terminate, I'm happy to do that. So far, she has not done that. That's the most that I will say about that issue. A third possibility is that he tells Britney, like, and again, we're speculating here completely, but he tells Britney, hey, we can file this petition to terminate, but if the judge grants it, it's going to be, you're going to need to do X, Y, and Z. You're going to have to go through mental health evaluations. He could have couched it in a way where she said, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, okay, well, we don't petition to end it. It's hard. We don't know what we don't know. And that privilege is absolute. The only person that can break it is Britney. And to the extent she does, I guess she can. But even then, I doubt that would be public information. It may be an in-camera, like behind the scenes, just with the judge discussion. Someone mentioned me in the Brit IG post. That's awesome. Maybe not. You said a fan filed a petition. How's that work? I've never seen that happen. He just petitioned to end it. Just like check the box, end it. Done. Lynn's attorney also spoke up, and I thought it was interesting. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for having us. First, this is Lynn's attorney, Britney's mom's attorney. First, I want to say that obviously that was very courageous of the conservatee, Miss Spears, and her mother has great concern about this. Here's what's interesting. Reports from, I think it was Andrew Gallery, who's a photographer who was sitting in court that day, said that as Britney spoke, none of the attorneys flinched. And I gotta say, you gotta have good poker face when you're an attorney. But to the extent, like, no one batted an eye, they must have known some of this was coming. Understandably, too, knowing that after 13 years, Britney, and, 2 years ago she requested this too, but Britney said, like, I want to speak. I want to speak. I want to speak. So they know that must be something going on. So I assume they've prepared themselves to some extent. But even the part about the IUD and like, I can't imagine not flinching at all. But one thing I want to raise with the court that I want to make sure that we don't leave this hearing today and forget about what Miss Spears said. She said when she was there in May of 2019, she doesn't feel like she was heard. And it feels incumbent upon me to ask the court that we make sure that today Miss Spears is heard. And to that end, one of the things that she said that is going to very much dictate what happens here, and this is no slight against any counsel in this case, but the request for her to have her own legal counsel, I would respectfully suggest, Your Honor, given since she articulated the reasons why she wants that I believe the court must take that up at its earliest convenience, because that issue may very well dictate what happens in terms of step 2, 3, and 4. Similarly, this healthcare plan, I also ask the court to take that up immediately. These are complaints and concerns that we did hear about in May of 2019. Today is the day, while the world watches and listens to Ms. Spears, is the day that we respectfully request that this court put an action plan at the Los Angeles Superior Court in place to provide the relief that Ms. Spears is still asking for in this hearing. That is critical. That is her mother's request. That is what we respectfully ask the court, that we not leave this proceeding without having the dates to move forward on these basic requests that may have an impact on this conservatorship. So that's a pretty strong stance. I'm going to need TikTok to expand their comments character count. I get that. I don't know what the likelihood is of a new evaluation. Is this a new judge? New-ish. Like, I don't know, a year or so. Regardless of the BS, can the judge just rule everything and end it? I guess theoretically she could take what she's heard as evidence and terminate the conservatorship based on that. But I mean, that's like way out there. Lynn's lawyer sounds on the ball. Yeah, feels like they had this, this was in the chamber ready to go. My wine is from Rombauer. Don't come at me for being bougie. I'm trying, but that's just what I drink. And it takes me like 3 hours to get through this. You can tell, like I've had 3 sips in the hour I've been sitting here. My jacket's from Sam's Club. My husband wishes my jacket was from Sam's Club. It's a matching set from Viore. Picked up during quarantine. How did her unstable dad get this in the first place? Sounds like if you read the New Yorker article, the process for that sounds really interesting, like fast. But it's also possible that people misremember. So I'll let you guys see, if you guys want to go look at the transcript itself. I'm sure that it's been republished outside of this petition. But Jody does include text messages between Britney and Jody. You must have your own representation. We will clear the way in court. I'm trying to see, because it was Friday and today, which must have been yesterday, I assume. It's not cool though, Britney says. You're not giving me names, Jody. I don't have representation though, and there's redacted parts. And Jody says, Sam is still your attorney until the court releases him. Britney says, I need you to stay as my co-conservator of person. I'm asking you for your assistance in getting a new attorney. Thank you for your help. And then I assume this is her reply. Jody's reply. In order for me to stay, I can't. I was going to show you. Her screenshots are not. In order for me to stay and help you, I must be sure to stay in my lane. This is Jody talking. Getting you a new attorney by filing with the court is the best legal approach. Your dad has excellent attorneys, and you should too. Britney says, I know, but I want blank, redacted, and get a new lawyer. I can do both. I don't know what the redacted part is. They gaslighted this woman. The Congress part, I think that this is more moving the ball down the field in terms of how we were talking about earlier. Why is it redacted? A couple reasons, potentially. Maybe it's legal strategy. Maybe it's medical information. There's all kinds of reasons. Those texts sound lucid to me. I'm really concerned about her. Yeah. I'm late. What did I miss? Quite a bit. We're about wrapped up. I'm just going to look at one. The order on the ex-parte application. This one last document, and then I'm going to get off because I need to go eat. It's been an hour. Where did I find the text? They're at the end of the petition for appointment of guardian ad litem. I'm sure that if you Google the guardian ad litem petition for Britney Spears, you'll be able to find it, or the text. I mean, I know that some of these were on Twitter. Is it Monday? No. Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. A week from today is when the hearing is. Finally, a guardian ad litem, but a limited scope guardian ad litem, not a long-term permanent guardian ad litem. I'm not caught up on Erica Girardi. I was going to talk about that tomorrow or Friday. Sorry. When do you think someone hugged her for just her? I don't know. That makes my heart sad, though, and warm at the same time. Odd. Like, just feeling like I'm in therapy. So the last document that I'm going to pull up is the order on ex parte application. So the court signed this order allowing for the application for appointment of counsel filed by Sam Ingham to be heard on the 14th. The above application was presented ex parte, meaning one-sided, and they're allowing for shortened time to have this heard. A hearing date set for July 14th at 1:30. The judge is like, fuck it. Yep, add it all. What, are we going to order food? She's going to start preparing tomorrow for the hearings next Wednesday. Additional orders. Notice of the July 14th, 2021 hearing is to be given to all interested parties, including the conservatee, by July 7th. So by the end of today, Britney will have had notice, and it sounds like she already knew. I said that judge is going to be annoyed. I mean, if she isn't already. Can the judge withdraw if they wanted to? Sandy, it's more complicated than that. A judge doesn't need to give, if there's a conflict at some point, like, say the judge's husband is part of a law firm that's like the only law firm, best capable law firm to be able to represent Britney. Remember when I texted you court dates long ago? Little did we know. Damn, I didn't even think about that stuff. Penny's calling out sick Wednesday. Can you imagine? Is there two types of conservatorships? In this situation, there's a conservatorship of a person and of her state. Yes, generally there's two. So the only reason I pulled this up is because the judge is saying, like, yeah, we'll go ahead and hear your request, Sam Ingham. Steph says, can we send the judge Starbucks and food all day to save her mood? You cannot. Judges in the state of California have to declare, what's the dollar amount? Like over $10, I think. They cannot accept anything. I had a friend who ended up getting appointed to the bench. And if it's in the normal course and scope, it's my understanding, if it's in the normal course and scope of, like, we've been friends for a long time, I can buy you dinner, then it's okay. But, like, I was on a list of, like, I can't appear in front of her. Can you imagine how many orders she'd get in an hour? I mean, the good news is my husband has an out-of-town golf tournament next Wednesday, so I'm going to, that's what I was just going to say, lovely photography by Casey. I'm going to go live on Wednesday afternoon. Okay, we'll cap our gifts at a total of $10. Grande drinks only, yeah. I mean, you can get a venti under $10. We could totally do that. How many hours will these take to get through? Well, I guess it depends on if there's tentative rulings issued the day before. No, because Brittany's got to be there. Yeah, hours. I'm married to a pro golfer. He wishes. I mean, he'd tell you yes, but no. But he has these, like, work golf tournaments. And by work golf tournaments, I mean, somebody said golf, and he was like, I'll be there. Yeah, you don't want a hangry judge. Why won't this one be public? it's not even a matter of it not being public, though there have been repeated requests by the media to enter the courtroom, and they've all been denied from what I can see. Los Angeles County Court instituted this remote audio access program where you could phone into court and listen as a member of the public, because courts are public. It's part of the constitutional process. Like, you want an open court. And they just instituted it in like January. And then there was an order like the Monday after the hearing and after that 23rd hearing. And they said, like, you know what? COVID's over and we're good and courtrooms are open. And we had that one case where they recorded the one thing. And so we're done. We're not going to have this anymore. So we can't know unless we get it from people that are inside the courtroom. And I will say that is one thing that I realized after reading through. I was watching the live tweets and I read through even like people who recapped it after the fact. There is nothing, I mean, no one adequately captured the feelings that Britney said. Part of that's because she spoke so fast, and part of it's because in order to appreciate the gravity of the situation, you have to take in the full scope. Okay, how much have I missed? I didn't know you were live. Super sorry, Elizabeth. I'll let this render. I'll download it. I'll post it to my YouTube, but I am out. It's 6:30 and I need to go eat. And I did a hard ass workout right before this, so food is necessary. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm not going to be on live tomorrow here. I'll be live on my YouTube for the Rachel Hollis community. But I'll update you guys if anything gets filed. You know. Thank you guys. Talk soon.